I want to, before we get to Logan, I just want to say congrats to Houston. That team, it's one of the very best teams we've played, during this 5-year run. They put so much pressure on you at both ends of the floor. It's a tremendous two-way basketball team, and we had to scrap and fight for everything the last 2 years against them, and we've been fortunate enough to come out on top. Obviously, it speaks to our group and their toughness and talent, but I can't speak any more highly of Houston and their grit and their competitiveness and their talent. That was an absolute grind, just like last year's. It's a great basketball team, but we're thrilled to be moving on and excited to have this one in our rearview mirror, and now we've got a lot more work ahead, but very satisfying victory tonight.
Coach, you called your team effing giants after the last one. What would you call them now, and speak on them?
Just giants. Yeah. Not going to swear tonight. They're giants. They're champions. These guys are a historically good basketball team, and you don't do this. You don't do what these guys have done without an incredible combination of talent and character. And I could go down the list, but I thought, Steph epitomized that tonight. 0 points at halftime, 3 fouls, a complete non-factor in the game, and then just completely took over the game on a night when everything was going wrong. And he found a way to turn it around. I also want to single out the bench. Just an amazing night from a group of guys who have not played this entire series. Houston put so much pressure on you in isolation that, frankly, we just decided to stick with our best defenders over the first 5 games. And obviously injuries forced us to use the bench. I probably should have used them earlier. Over the years, we've played a lot of people. We like to use our bench. We talk about strength in numbers. But the coach wasn't doing much of that the first 5 games. So I'm just incredibly proud of, Jordan and Jonas. Kevon had a great series, but Quinn Cook to do what he did tonight coming into the game without really having played the whole series. Those guys were amazing and really a huge factor in the win.
Coach, much has been made about Steph's, foul trouble throughout the series, and he got those quick 4 early. Can you talk about how he was able to balance that with that incredible second half?
Well, that's what Steph does. I mean, I actually told his mom and dad after the game. I said, if that game didn't personify Steph Curry, I don't know what did. I mean, he's a guy who can make some plays that leave you scratching your head. The fouls, some of the turnovers, not tonight, but sometimes he just makes plays and you kind of look around thinking, what is he doing? But most of the time he makes these incredible plays, and he's just fearless. And that's what makes him who he is. So he reminds me a little bit of Manu Ginobili, not so much in the style of play, but in the kind of swashbuckling nature, Manu used to drive Pop nuts. My last year with the Spurs was Manu's rookie year, and Pop would be pulling his hair out, and that's how I felt when I started coaching Steph. He makes these plays that nobody could have taught him this stuff. You wonder what he's thinking, and then you sort of realize after a while, leave him alone. He's so good that he's going to counteract the few crazy plays he makes with an amazing number of good ones and clutch ones. He's an incredible basketball player, a wonderful leader for our team, and just made some amazing plays down the stretch.
Steve, Marcus Thompson with The Athletic. You talked a lot about how great Andre has been. When he's on the court, how does it make you feel knowing that he's out there and he's defending and handling the ball and doing what he does?
It's like when your kids are at home and there's a babysitter there. That's Andre. Like you just feel more comfortable knowing there's an adult out there who's keeping everybody settled down. That game, I think, was probably not winnable without Andre's contributions, making 5 threes. He made a few of them, I think 2 or 3 in the first half when we were really struggling without Steph. And I thought Clay also kept us going in that first half. But Andre just does so much for us at both ends of the floor. I mean, there's a reason he has had the career he's had. He's been finals MVP. He's a multi-time champion, Olympian, All-Star. Andre's an incredible basketball player.
Coach, earlier you talked about your bench. I'm right here in the middle. Earlier you talked about your bench, but could you go into a little bit more detail about how big Kevon Looney was? Because Game 5, he came in the first quarter and gave you all a lot of energy, and then tonight he came out 14 big points. And he also kind of rendered Clint Capella ineffective.
Looney has been a rock for us all year, one of our key contributors. He's wise beyond his years. He's a guy who just understands the game and makes the right play over and over again. Really, really smart. And he's so easy to coach. And his teammates have so much respect for him. And he was great all series and big tonight as well.
Now that y'all have advanced, do you feel like there's a chance that Durant could be back for the next round?
We're going to reevaluate him, I think, in a week, and we'll see. But there's really no way of making any predictions right now. It's an injury that requires sort of an update every few days, and so as of now, we don't have any updates.
Hey, Steve. Phil Barber, Santa Rosa Press Democrat. Obviously, the objective was to survive and advance any way you could, but with the schedule of the next round being so tough with a game every other day, how valuable is it to win here, not have to take it to 7 and get a couple days to rest for that?
Yeah, I mean, we just wanted to win the series, but this is ideal. I probably give the players the weekend off and just to recuperate and then get ready for whoever we're playing, Tuesday night. But, that game will be at home, so we'll have at least the next few days to prepare and recover. And so this was a huge win for us tonight, especially considering how many minutes a lot of our core guys played in this series.
You mentioned Pop, and so I would ask you, what did you say to your team knowing you were struggling but you were tied at halftime? Steph's 0 points. Could you give us a little insight of what you said to them going in?
That's basically what I said. I said, we know Steph's going to get going, and we're tied, and we're doing a great job. I loved the first half. I thought we competed like crazy, and we had key contributions off the bench, and so to go in on the road with Steph Curry with 3 fouls and no points, and you're tied. We felt pretty good about it, and that's what we talked about.
Steve, obviously Clay has had games like this. What have you noticed about big settings and the mentality that it takes to come up with a game like this? I
mean, Clay's just been doing this for so long. He's one of the best two-way players in the game. He's guarding James Harden and Chris Paul and Gordon. He's guarding their best players, and then coming down and he had 21 points in the first half to carry us with Steph struggling. But this is who Clay is. This is why he's such a great player. He's been doing this for a long time.
Valencia.